We all know Tom Cruise, that one actor who never ceases to amaze his audience and even his co-stars with his stunts, which would land a regular guy in the ER. He's done everything, riding off cliffs, hanging off planes, and blowing up an aquarium. But when he's not doing crazy stunts, he's out there admiring the works of his colleagues.
And I love Robert Downey, and I can't imagine anyone else doing that role.
These are Tom Cruise's 7 favorite actors. Let's get right into it. Starting with number 7, we have Brad Pitt.
He's very talented, and I felt he did an extraordinary job. I think he brought such dignity.
This one goes way back in time to the 90s, when both Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt starred in the movie Interview with the Vampire, which was a hit at that time. Something else that also became a hit was the two actors' admiration for each other. In the movie, their characters were ice cold and almost hostile to each other, but it was the complete opposite off-screen, a whole different vibe altogether. After they played in that movie together, the media tried to pit them against each other by restructuring Brad Pitt's words from an interview in which he said that he and Tom are like North Pole and South Pole, and the underlying competition bugged him. When the media got hold of this, they misquoted it, saying that Brad said, "He bugged me." This made the two look like they were in some competition, which was quite the opposite.
It's great to see Brad driving. When we were doing Interview with the Vampire, we'd go and race go-karts. We'd literally finish and then go drive go-karts all night.
Tom has nothing but respect for Brad, and even a blind person can detect it from the tone of his voice anytime he talks about Brad Pitt. The two seem to have gone on a lot of fun rides together, with Brad Pitt taking the winning spot, and it doesn't seem like Tom Cruise minds at all. Regarding Brad Pitt's work, Tom Cruise has always thought highly of it and doesn't waste time promoting it either. This shows you that he recognizes true talent, and for Tom Cruise to tell everyone that your movie is great means that your movie is truly great.
Brad's got the movie Pitt Formula One with Jerry Bruckheimer, and I can't wait to see that movie this summer. I'll be there opening weekend.
Although Tom Cruise hasn't worked with Brad Pitt after being on one show together, it's safe to say that they are very cordial with each other after hearing what Tom had to say about him being a great father on the David Letterman show.
I have to say, he was always incredible with my kids, and he couldn't wait to be a father.
The admiration of Brad Pitt's work by Tom Cruise is clear. He sees the grind, the talent, and the consistency. And if Tom, a reckoning force in Hollywood, loves your work, that means you're doing more than a great job. But enough talk about Brad Pitt. Let's take a look at a new addition to Tom Cruise's favorite actors, which is none other than number 6, Michael B. Jordan. Recently, Michael's movie Sinners has been a big hit in the theaters, and even a bigger hit after Tom pulled up to the cinema. On his Instagram, where he has millions of followers, he shared a picture of himself at the cinema, posing in front of the Sinners signpost, telling everyone to come watch it. If that doesn't indicate his fondness for Michael's work, then I don't know what else will. Or maybe I do, and it's none other than Tom's response to an interview question during the premiere of his movie, Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise voiced out that he's a huge fan of Michael, that he can't wait to work with him, and also goes ahead to describe him as very charismatic and talented. For an actor who has been in the game since the latter days, to say that about an actor from the current generation means that he's truly engrossed with your work.
Huge fan of his, huge fan of what he and Coogler do together. He's enormously talented, very charismatic, great actor.
The two actors have good chemistry and respect for each other. When looking at them, you can see that they are visibly relaxed around each other, especially through their pose and warm embrace at the premiere of Tom's movie. Tom Cruise doesn't just admire Michael's work from a distance. He shows up, speaks up, and gives him his flowers when needed, and there is nothing better than that. Moving on to another great actor who has captured the heart of Tom Cruise. At number 5, we have Val Kilmer.
Because every time you go up in the air, you're unsafe.
That's right. Nice, man.
You can't talk about Tom Cruise's favorite actors without mentioning Val Kilmer. The two have such an emotional history together. They go way back to 1986, when they stunned everyone as Maverick and Iceman in the original Top Gun movie. In the movie, the two were rivals, cocky pilots who were trying to get at each other at every chance they got. Although Tom Cruise didn't want to be in the movie at first, he was later convinced by the director's brother, Ridley Scott, to play in it. It was also the same case when it came to Val Kilmer, as this was because he found it silly and didn't like the concept of war, but he had no other choice than to act in it because he was under a contractual obligation with Paramount Pictures at the time. But that turned out to favor the two actors, because as time passed during the production of this movie, the two rivals formed a friendship that turned out to be 40 years of genuine friendship.
The only reason I'm here is you.
Over the years, Tom Cruise has made it clear that Val wasn't just a great actor, but also someone he values so much and respects. When it was time for the sequel, Top Gun Maverick, Tom personally fought to bring Val for a scene. Jerry Bruckheimer, one of the producers of Top Gun Maverick, said, "We all wanted him, but Tom was adamant that if he was going to make another Top Gun, Val had to be in it." And when you see them in that scene together, Maverick sitting across from Iceman, who can barely speak, it hits you. It's not just acting. There's an actual bond there. Years of friendship, love, and shared history all poured into that heartwarming moment.
I just want to say that was pretty emotional. I've known Val for decades.
That one scene Val acted with Tom turned out to be one of the most emotional and talked about parts of the film, especially because Val had returned to set while still battling throat cancer, which impaired his voice.
And for him to come back and play that character, he's such a powerful actor.
He was only able to talk with the help of an AI-powered voice, which made the movie a Hollywood classic. Sadly, it turned out to be Val Kilmer's last performance on screen before he passed away after battling cancer for 11 years.
I said, I want to be first. I have to be the first one.
Tom Cruise attended the CinemaCon on April 3rd, and there he offered his tributes to the late Val Kilmer. He asked the audience to observe a moment of silence. Then he went on to say, "I can't tell you how much I admire his work, how grateful and honored I was when he joined Top Gun and came back later for Top Gun Maverick." Later, he ended his touching speech with, "I wish you well on your next journey." Now, it's time to have a look at the next actor, who is none other than number 4, Glenn Powell. You might not know this, but in the movie Top Gun Maverick, Glenn Powell, who played Hangman, wasn't originally supposed to play that role or be in the movie at all. Initially, he had auditioned for the role of Rooster, but lost it to Miles Teller. After this, he didn't want to play in the movie at all because he didn't like the character assigned to him, but then Tom Cruise stepped in. Tom Cruise saw something in Glenn Powell that even he couldn't see. He told him that he could bring that character to life in his way, and that's exactly what Glenn did. Over the years, they have built quite a strong bond that everyone is aware of, with Tom posing as a mentor figure to him.
See, I'm in Running Man too.
I have to say, all of my running technique did come straight from Tom.
Yes. You know what it is?
All of my hand position.
It's always the hand position.
When Glenn Powell first got the leading role in the upcoming movie Running Man, which requires a lot of running scenes, the first person he called was Tom Cruise for some premium running advice, and what Tom told him was, "Film yourself running as soon as possible. You don't look as cool as you think, you freak." And that's exactly what he did.
And Tom was like, "What kind of career do you want?" I go, "You, man, I'm trying to be you."
It seems like Tom Cruise shows his love for his cherished actors by showing up for them. Recently, when Glenn Powell premiered his movie Twisters in London, guess who showed up on the red carpet to support him? Well, you guessed right. It's none other than the stuntmaster himself, Tom Cruise. There have been a few whispers here and there about the duo's return in Top Gun 3, and everyone is anticipating the comeback. It seems their friendship isn't ending anytime soon. 3. Paul Newman.
Yes, I raced for his team, and he was amazing. I always wanted to beat him on the racetrack and beat him in pool. You know, he was a hustler, Newman.
These two first worked together in a 1986 movie called The Color of Money, where Tom played the young, cocky pool player, Vincent, and Newman played Eddie Felson. In the movie, their characters start off with the master and student vibes, but initially, they get into disagreements and butt heads a lot. Over the years, Tom has made it known many times that Paul wasn't just an incredible actor, he was an actor who delivered his act with excellence and ease. The late Newman was known for his humility and philanthropy, and Tom not only admired this trait, but also mirrored it.
I remember we were doing Color Money, and I went actually from Top Gun to Color Money.
According to Tom, working with Newman at such a young age gave him the blueprint for how to carry himself in Hollywood, especially his work ethic. Tom saw Newman as an extremely wise master, especially at the moment when he was in a t-shirt and jeans, shivering in the cold, while Paul Newman was fully geared up for the weather. When Paul Newman sadly passed away in 2008 after battling cancer, Tom poured his heart out in an emotional tribute that was published in the People magazine. In the tribute, he wrote, "He was bigger than life to me, but he always had a way of putting us all at ease. He called me cruiser or kid sometimes. We would grab time to hang out whenever we could find it." He ended the touching tribute by writing, "His life will forever inspire me. The world has lost an icon. I have lost an idol."
I am very, very proud to present the Gene Hirschalt Award to my treasured friend, my respected colleague, admired mentor, and fellow race car driver. Ladies and gentlemen, our own Paul Newman.
So even though Paul Newman isn't here with us today, his influence on Tom Cruise is still alive today. It's in the way he handles his work and his contribution to society. You don't just forget someone like Newman. And clearly, Tom Cruise never has. If we didn't add the next actor on the list who changed a lot of things for Tom, then we would be lagging. So with that said, at the number 2 spot, we have the legendary Dustin Hoffman.
Pestered me so much, I said, okay, I'll go over and say hello. And I went up, and then he was obviously had his hat on, and he was ordering takeout, and I just stood next to him, and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Hoffman, I'm sorry." And he looked at me and went, "Cruise!" And I went,
If there is one actor who gave Tom a new perspective on how to structure his movies, then it's Dustin Hoffman. They first hopped on a movie, Rain Man, together in 1988. Their characters' connection was nothing short of beautiful. How Cruise met Hoffman is such a funny story, though. It turns out that a little bit of fangirling and push from his sister made him walk up to the man in question, and that was one of the moments that boosted his career.
Live who saw The Graduate. And I just mean that
He's a real prick.
people amazing. He really knows how to.
Tom Cruise has made it known severally that working with Hoffman is another level of learning. According to him, Dustin taught him how to structure scenes based on the talent of a child actor so that shooting isn't hard. This is one thing Cruise keeps in mind anytime he is working with child actors, which has made the process more easy. Working with Hoffman changed a lot of things for Tom. One of the biggest changes being the Oscar nomination he got for the movie Rain Man. On the other hand, Hoffman got an Academy Award for Best Actor. Not only did Hoffman boost Tom's career, but he also impacted his emotional depth and vulnerability through the roles they played. Their bond is special because ever since then, Tom cannot talk about actors who have impacted him without mentioning Dustin Hoffman's name. For the last on our list, we have Hollywood's heartthrob, who turns out to be loved by Tom Cruise too, and he's none other than number 1 Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill's, guy's a movie star, incredibly charismatic, great actor.
Our beloved Superman has left quite an impression on Tom Cruise after acting together in Mission Impossible Fallout. Right from the very first day they started working together on set, Tom Cruise made it clear that he admired Henry's work ethic and raw talent. Knowing Tom Cruise, a man who lives for the stunts and precision, he has to show respect when he sees another actor matching the intensity and precision.
It's one of the coolest moments of my life is having Tom Cruise do that driving next to you.
Tom has made it known in interviews how Henry brought a grounded, powerful presence to the set. He wasn't just playing a tough guy, he was one. From the brutal bathroom fight scene that got fans talking to skydiving sequences, Henry gave it his all, and that's exactly what Tom Cruise loves to see. Their energy on set and off set are cordial and respectful, and it showed during the promotional events where Cruise often highlighted Cavill's dedication and talent. This admiration wasn't just for show, it reflected a genuine appreciation for Cavill's approach to the craft. I mean, who wouldn't like the awesome Clark Kent? We have come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one.